Hi, the topic I will talk about next is about NIMBY, which is an acronym that stands for Not in My Backyard. NIMBY is used to describe the situation that residents object to the proposed development plan for their area. Local groups always think that the development is necessary, but must be far away from their area because they want to enjoy the benefits without taking more risks and costs from the negative externalities. Some developments can affect the environment, asset value, and their health, but the benefits are shared by all. They think it's unfair. It can be understood that the residents are worried about the influence that the change will make. For example, no one wants nuclear waste. As the graphs show, increasing nuclear fuel are spent and discharged since the last century. It indicates that more nuclear waste needs to be disposed, so more nuclear waste management organizations and industries are needed. The government should choose the suitable addresses for them. As the waste disposal was not dealt with properly in the first decades of nuclear energy development, the public have had a doubt of the safety. People always agree that the waste should be disposed to avoid the harm. Meanwhile, the processes cannot be done near their home. The industry and many governments are seeking to entomb the waste, but local groups are still very resistant to it, since the result would be devastating to the environment and the health of residents if the nuclear waste is handled badly. So does the solid waste. The sources of solid waste are scattered, and their characteristics are complex. They may contain toxicity, flammability, explosiveness, and so on. Any mistake made when processing would cause pollution to the environment and illness to people, so that development of society would be impeded. Besides the environmental and healthy factors have been mentioned, there are few reasons that NIMBYs oppose new development projects. Firstly, residents don't believe that developers will act in the best interest of the residents. NIMBY acts as a protection mechanism. No matter how beneficial the development may be, communities fear that there may be other motivations to do so. Secondly, individuals in a community identify with their own group. When a new development plan takes place near their area, residents often feel that their culture is threatened by outsiders. Finally, local groups fear change. Objections are deeply rooted in the fear that the new development will change the identity or character of the place that residents have a strong connection with. To solve the problems that NIMBY brings, the industry and the government can hire the residents in these new projects. This action can not only solve the employment problems, but also let the local groups know the projects better and be aware that the new developments bring benefits much more than negative effects. Besides, the government should set strict standards to ensure that projects are harmless to environment and monitor the companies strictly. Let's set nuclear waste as an example again. The companies should follow the steps according to the standards. Both pre-treatment and treatment are necessary to separate general waste, exempt waste, and nuclear material for recycle or reuse. After conditioning, the waste can be disposed. These processes should be monitored to ensure the safety of the surroundings. As consciousness cannot be formed in a moment, it needs to be affected gradually. Long-term advertisements and popularization are necessary since both residents and companies should be aware of the importance of the environmental protection and health. Effective communication is also needed to deal with the residents' travel in time. To sum up, NIMBY can bring a lot of losses for the government, society, and industries. So transformation of the local groups' minds is needed. If the industry and the governments can handle the waste properly and offer employment to the residents, it can be proved that the society will develop better without NIMBY.